Hello, I'm Charles Aite. This afternoon, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana has tightened its regulation to rid the accounting profession of any bad image. According to the institute, the emergence of the new Institute of Chartered Accountants Act 2020 mandates it to withdraw licenses of members found engaging in unethical practices. Speaking to Joy Business at the 38th graduation and admission ceremony, the president of the institute said the new law is binding on every member of the profession.
The banking crisis came, we took a look at the role of the profession, and we have repeatedly said that the crisis cannot be blamed on accountants. Okay, it was a governance issue, but the contribution that accountants played, we took a look at it, and where we felt that professional accountants, although they were not the cause of the collapse of the banks, but we felt that they ought to have approached their work in a certain standard way that they did not. We triggered some process that dealt with that one. So we've since dealt with this, and we keep reminding members of the profession they need to be diligent when they are providing advice and giving audit opinions and providing business advice and all those things to prevent, escalated crisis. So I think that the profession is dealing with these issues. We've tightened the regulation with the introduction of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Act 2020. We've tightened the regulation, and every member of the profession knows that when they misconduct themselves, they will have their licenses revoked. And that knowledge itself is good for us as a country. So we are all put on alert, knowing that when we are found guilty of misconduct, what gives us livelihood, which is the certificate and the license we hold, will be taken away from us. And that alone is a good signal telling everybody that please don't misconduct yourself. And I think
well, an old student of the UPSA, Delilah Tegbebi, emerged the overall best candidate, level 3, at the graduation. In an interview, he admonished members to adhere to the profession's code of ethics.
Trick, I wouldn't say there is a particular trick, because the CA exams, especially at the level 3, you are tested at how you use or apply the skills you've learned. So more about technical applications and your understanding of what you studied. So more of being able to understand exactly what I am studying and then applying it and practicing it. Also, I attended One Touch for 3 of my courses. It was difficult balancing work and going to class, but they really helped me. So that too was part. Because I work with KPMG now, everything in KPMG is up to such high quality standards. So all you can expect is more of quality. These things are already being handled by very highly revered and professional people. So when we are trained day in, day out on how to go about our business, to ensure that we are always perform up to standard, right? So all I can say is that we just keep striving to be better, and we keep updating our knowledge, because that's the one thing that normally causes some of these downfalls, and maintain our integrity. And if we do that, we'll be able to at least keep up with the requirements of the audits. Yeah.
Delilah Tegbebi is an old student at the UPSA and an overall best graduating candidate at the 38th ICAG graduation admission ceremony. You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. Now to our major story. Research by Ghana Cocoa Board has shown that several cocoa farms in the Western, Ashanti and Eastern regions have been lost to illegal mining activities. Now, the research found that out of the over 20,000 acre cocoa farms in the selected regions, more than 19,000 acres have been devastated by galamsey. This means that about 80% of the selected cocoa farms were destroyed between 2019 and 2020. Fifi Boafo is head of public affairs at Cocoa Board and joins us for more. Fifi, grateful that you could join us. What more are we learning from this research conducted by Cocoa Board?
Well, apart from the sample size, it's an indication that there are more farms that have been devastated by the activities of these illegal miners. And apart from these existing farms, Some of the farms which we are rehabilitating at present is also suffering from the activities of these illegal miners. In some cases, it's not just the illegal miners, but also some small-scale miners, and in some instances, some big mining companies have been given the permission by the Minerals Commission to actually mine at sites where we have cocoa farms. So the threats mining poses to cocoa farming and the cocoa industry generally in Ghana is one that requires an urgent attention from all stakeholders.
But how and why has this illegality degenerated so fast? Was there a failure in supervision or regulation?
Well, it is difficult to pinpoint what has accounted for this problem. But of course, it's one because of the fact that people think that, well, okay, so let's start from here. It's an illegal act, so you have very little control as to deterring them from going ahead with the exception of the law dealing with them. Another part of it is that there are some instances where these farms were cocoa swollen shoot disease affected farms. So with just a little incentive to the farmers, they were willing to give it out. In some instances, they actually use force also in taking away these farms from the cocoa farmers and then turning them into a galamsey site, because some of the farmers resisted and then they used force and they took over these farms. In some instances, we realized that the farmers were resisting they taking over their farms, but then the landowners or the chiefs actually gave go ahead, and then the people who are involved in this illegal activity decided to take over the farms. Let me quickly add that this act did not start 3 years ago. It's been in existence for a while, but it looks like because the people have been emboldened, they feel that, well, they can go ahead and continue to destroy these cocoa farms without taking into consideration the effects that it causes to us as a country.
For stakeholders, Fifi, in the cocoa value chain, this development will definitely have a toll on Ghana's cocoa production, our export margins in that respect, and subsequently our revenue. What can you say about this particular concern?
Obviously, if the farms are being cut off and then the farms are turned into galamsey and mining sites, certainly its effect on productivity is high. And the expectation is that we'll be able to deal with this menace, because failure to do so obviously will destroy what has been a backbone of our economy. So that the threat is there. What it requires is an urgent steps in dealing with the problem.
And speaking of measures, Cocoa Board and the Minerals Commission recently had an engagement over this matter, particularly the research that you churned out. What was the outcome of this particular meeting?
Well, there was an admission by the Minerals Commission that the information put out by Cocoa Board is correct, and there was the need for us as state institutions, as partners, work together in addressing the issue. One of the things the Minerals Commission indicated at the meeting was that Cocoa Board should provide data. Of course, you are aware of the cocoa management system, where we are taking geographical locations of all cocoa farms. So we make them available to the Minerals Commission, and in giving out licenses to people who go into small-scale mining. Cocoa farms are not given out as places for mining. Also, to engage further the security agencies, the law enforcement agencies, and of course, the judiciary, to ensure that people who engage in this illegal activity, when they are presented before the court, punitive measures or sanctions are meted out to them, and then swiftly to discourage people who feel that, well, they have every right to destroy cocoa farms and then nothing really will happen to them. The collaboration, we believe that we'll be able to yield some result, but it requires more than that. One of the suggestions at the meeting was to also engage other institutions like the Forestry Commission, like the Environmental Protection Agencies, and all those who have some, in one way or the other, some activity to do with regards to ensuring that we deal with this threat that looks us in the face.
Indeed, and we're going to see how this goes on, and of course the impact it's going to have on placing the lid on this particular development. We're grateful for your input. Here's the head of public affairs at Cocoa Board. Well, we'll still stay on this matter because Joy Business, as you rightly heard in that interview, is gathering that some cocoa farmers are ditching their farms to illegal miners due to how lucrative the act is. Samuel Tetekobo is a cocoa farmer who will join us shortly. But first, take a listen to the chairperson of the Minerals Commission, Barbara Otinjesi.
Revenue that is generated from mining is such that a lot of our farmers are attracted to it. And even now, information that we are getting is that a lot of the youth who previously used to engage in cocoa mass spraying now are unwilling to do it because they are getting more revenue from illegal mining. We know that for the 13 regions in Ghana, with the exception of about 3 regions, cocoa production is impacted by illegal mining. I think it's only in about OT region, Greater Accra region, and the Volta region that we don't have this occurring. We are also aware that many of the cocoa farmers are selling off their farmland for mining activities. And definitely mining is taking place underground, and cocoa production is taking place above ground. So if we are doing a lot of mining in our cocoa growing areas, definitely there is a problem.
Disturbing indeed. We're joined by Samuel Tetekobo. He's a farmer, and of course he has much knowledge on this development. We're grateful, sir, that you could join us. What's happening with your colleagues on the farmlands? Talk to us about the new development of them selling cocoa farms to illegal miners.
Thank you, and very grateful to our viewers. Cocoa farming is one area that is not only good for the nation, but it's also good for the farmer. And I believe that this illegal mining, the scourge of illegal mining is very rare. And like previous speakers have said, the farmers are losing their livelihood because of the impact of this illegal mining. I would just say that anything illegal is not worth its substance. Okay? So if farmers who are only peasant farmers, remember they've traveled from various places to just go and do farming, especially cocoa farming, okay? And so if this cocoa farming and the farms have not become moribund, so that you say that they are no more productive, so that we can then take the land and use it for something else, and we are just cutting them, or we are just taking the land. One, it's affecting the livelihood of the farmer, it's degrading the soil and the land on which we are using it. Remember, you said about 80% of the land is now going into illegal mining. If that happens, we can say that Cocoa Board is going to be heavily impacted. Why? Because they will not meet their target. Anything that will be done in this station will be drawn back because of this illegal mining. I believe that we should find, the Minerals Commission should find a way, okay, come to the side of these farmers so that not every area of land could be used or could be given out for illegal mining or even for mining, right? Such viable farms could be less scaled off so that we have only land that are moribund, areas that are no more of use.
Great.
Even there, how long can the land that has been degraded be resourced so that it can be reused again? It takes a whole long time, and this is our concern. Let's help the farmer so that he can also help the nation with these cocoa farms. We have a duty to support Cocoa Board to continue to achieve its targets.
The Minerals Commission's chairperson, Barbara Otinjesi, has rightly stated that cocoa farmers are indeed selling their lands to illegal miners because the money, it's much more lucrative having to engage in the illegality than to, plow the land and, cultivate cocoa. Is this really the case? Because I mean, the livelihood of cocoa farmers we know is rightly being taken care of by Cocoa Board. Is it that farmers feel they're being shortchanged and that therefore directing their attention to this illegality? What exactly is the matter with the livelihood of farmers, attracting them to this, act of galamsey?
Exactly. Money answers all things. You see? So if I have to wait for a season, cocoa season to come before I can get a few money. Remember, on the value chain itself, the farmer is being cheated. So if I have to wait for all this while before I can make some little money, then galamsey can just continue to give me daily or weekly or monthly income, you can be sure the farmer will just divert his attention to that. And it's a scourge that we must try to, curb. If we don't do it, we will get lost on all our cocoa farms. And it is my concern that we stand up to this and help the farmers. I know now they are trying to do this insurance thing and they are taking measurements of all the land. Let's do the right statistics and see how best farms that are really ready to stand, we will be able to support them and then make sure that they stand. I will find a way to retract the land that have been used by these illegal miners.
Mr. Kobo, you've been to cocoa farming for the past 50 years or so. What is it that cocoa farmers need, from your perspective, urgently, to secure their farms from the scourge of illegal miners?
I think they need to be protected from the influx of the companies or institutions that have big money to come and buy up the lands. Remember, I said most of the farmers are peasant farmers. So the people go to the landowners and buy these things up. So, irrespective of you producing your cocoa farm 5 years, 6 years, when you are ready to harvest, the landowner tells you, I've already given the land to this company and it is theirs. I no longer owe it. That is so killing. If we can find a way to regulate that area, we will be able to control this aspect of our menace. Thank you.
Samuel Kobo, as always, grateful that I could join us. He's a cocoa farmer joining us on this matter of illegal mining and its impact on cocoa farm lands. You're still watching The Marketplace. Let's now delve into the build industry, because Rehoboth Properties Limited has launched its 9th Bridge luxurious affordable housing project at Kwabenya in the Greater Accra region to enable middle to low income earners to at least purchase houses. The move is intended to narrow the housing deficit in the country, which is estimated at about 2 million housing units. We have more in this report.
Speaking at the ground opening of the Knights Bridge luxurious affordable housing at Kwabenya in the Greater Accra region, the Chief Executive Officer of Rehoboth Properties Limited, Gideon Ayuku Akrofi, said housing has become a major challenge in this country, and therefore its affordable housing project is to help income earners afford acquisition of houses. He said there is a payment plan for potential house owners.
Housing or access to a decent home has been a challenge even in developed countries. So Ghana is no exception. Social housing, because price will be very affordable for many Ghanaians. As an institution with private ownership, over the years, Rehoboth has been tirelessly working to propagate its mission to transform the environment towards sustainability through the way of communities. Our plan, designed, constructed, operated, and maintained to its significant improvement of the health and quality of life of occupants of the present future generation through creating sustainability building and communities. We envisage as a company that in the near future, greeners will rank high on purchase and letting decisions of prospective property buyers.
Former Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Reverend Professor Aaron Mike Okwe urged Ghanaians to patronize Rehoboth Properties since it's of quality and affordable.
Throughout the developed world, this model of housing is the basis of the family. Our young people who have completed their education and have gained employment, whether in towns or cities, should be able to start life on their own without living in compound houses, which have unnecessary trappings. The system ensures affordability in 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, or 3-bedroom houses. You can own a 1-bedroom house to start life. Development, which I'm glad and proud to be part of and associated with, is a private effort, and Rehoboth has shown what a determined developer with a clear vision can do, backed by a board of directors which is clear in its vision, private investors who are efficient and honest and will not run away with people's money. And all the benefits of a gated community will apply. Facilities for shopping, day nursery, pharmacy, and games, etc. will be placed at your doorstep.
Tasha Michel's report for Joy Business.
And you're still watching The Marketplace. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back. Just stay with us. Now, financial analyst Joe Jackson has taken a swipe at the government for failing to sustain initiatives meant to fight unemployment among young people. According to him, monies meant for the U-Start initiative should be channeled through the private sector for disbursement to ensure transparency and efficiency. He further explains that government involvement in such initiatives lack proper monitoring. He was speaking at an entrepreneurship forum at the University of Ghana, of which we have more in this report.
The Entrepreneurship Forum is to equip young people in developing creative ideas to aid in the fight against the canker of unemployment in the country. According to Mr. Jackson, government should involve the private sector in ensuring the sustainability of the various initiatives meant to create jobs.
We are all in agreement that there are not enough jobs and that this economy is not creating enough jobs. Every time I hear the government is trying to create jobs directly in itself, I get a sinking feeling in my stomach that this is going to be another program where the government will disburse money. The money will most likely go into different pockets, and a couple of years after the program, there is absolutely nothing to show for it. In my opinion, if it's SMEs, micro businesses that are going to be really the ones creating jobs, then that money should go to them, and it should come through the private sector, and the government should find credible financial institutions that are already established to disburse the money, not another state program where people take the money and think it's part of the government's largesse and don't want to pay back. So you start, if you want to make it sustainable, right? Keep the government out of it.
According to the International Labour Organization, Ghana was faced with a 12% youth unemployment and more than 50% underemployment rate. Well,
that's all for the bulletin. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.